All right, today we're going to talk about El Matador, Ilia Topuria, the former featherweight champion that's moved up to 155. He's looking for a fight. He wants to fight Islam Makhachev. Islam says he doesn't deserve it. Charles Oliveira's out there talking shit, saying this guy's out of his mind. Justin Gaethje is there. He just wants a fight. He just wants to fight for the belt.
Let me bang, man.
And El Matador, sorry, La Leyenda, the legend, Ilia Topuria, he just wants to get his hands on someone. So, La Leyenda, that's the new nickname. I love it. I think it's great because the man is a legend. Ilia Topuria, what he's done so far in MMA is phenomenal. 16 fights, 16 wins, 14 finishes, 6 knockouts, 8 submissions, and the man is ridiculously skilled. Now, a lot of people are talking shit about the new nickname, okay? Saying that he's too arrogant, he's too cocky, and the downfall is going to be spectacular. Well, those guys are just absolute haters. Everything Ilia has done so far, he has made a reality. He changed his bio to the featherweight champion of the world and he knocked out Volkanovski. He said he was going to be the first person to crack the chin of Max Holloway, and that's exactly what he did. He came into the sport, he took over. Yes, he might have took some inspiration from Conor McGregor along the way. That's what his critics love to say. But whatever he's doing it well, okay? Because he is taking over the sport. He is absolutely phenomenal. And let me tell you something right now. Every interaction that I've had with Ilia Topuria has been a really positive interaction. He's respectful. He's a nice guy. He's well-spoken. He's a monster inside the octagon. He's very smart as well. There is nothing bad to say about La Leyenda, the former featherweight champion of the world. But that doesn't stop every dickhead on Twitter from talking a little bit of shit. This is what I'm talking about. He's good, but he is so lame. Pride before the fall, self-proclaiming himself a legend is exactly what I would expect of him. And it just goes on. El Ducho, might have been a good idea to get a win at lightweight before announcing that. This type of blah, blah, blah. The humbling is going to be glorious. And this is coming from a lot of people that have probably achieved not very much in their lives because they're going online and they're talking shit about somebody like Ilia Topuria. Everything that he said, he is backed up. So you can't talk any shit. And as the kids like to say these days,
manifestation.
He really is manifesting this, okay? Anyway, never mind all that stuff. La Leyenda, I think it's great. I think Ilia Topuria is awesome. So the question is, who is Ilia Topuria going to fight? Islam Makhachev says that he needs one more. Khabib Nurmagomedov says that he needs one more. A lot of people kind of feel like that. And a lot of people in the lightweight division that have been working so hard for years might take offense to that. But look at what Conor McGregor did. He soared through the featherweight division, knocked out Jose Aldo, came up to 155 and fought for the belt straight away and knocked out Eddie Alvarez at UFC 205 in probably the best performance of his career. So we've seen this happen before and it might happen again. And ultimately, if the UFC want to make this fight, I don't think Islam Makhachev would turn it down. I don't think he would kick up a fuss over it. He's not going to throw his toys out of the pram and start crying and talking shit. He'll be like, okay, I would have preferred it if he fought someone first. I would have preferred it if he proved himself in this division because, of course, Islam, from his perspective, if he just beats a featherweight like he did against Volkanovski 2 times in a row, people will look for a way to minimize the greatness of what he would have achieved. Anyway, let's look at the division. Arman Tsarukyan's number 1. It isn't going to be Arman. We know what happened last time out, and Dana said he's got to prove himself, and it doesn't seem like Islam's particularly interested in that either. Charles Oliveira, he's number 2, and then we've got Justin Gaethje at number 3. Now, Justin Gaethje hasn't fought Islam Makhachev, so that would be a fresh title. Justin Gaethje isn't getting any younger either. I think we would all sign off on Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev. Justin gets to go in there, right the wrongs from the Khabib Nurmagomedov fight, and finish his career as the UFC lightweight champion of the world. And I think somebody like Justin Gaethje that has put on these legendary fights, these epic battles, and just entertained the crowds, just like he did last time out against Rafael Fiziev. What a fight that was. I think the man deserves it. And I think it might just happen because what's happening is that Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira are talking a lot of shit back and forth, and that just might be the fight that gets made. First of all, we've got Charles Oliveira out there saying that Topuria is being disrespectful. He said, I've been in the UFC for 15 years and I've never spoken poorly about anyone. I think Topuria is disrespectful with what he said. I want to remind everyone that the toughest division is lightweight. I've been in it for years, so I have something to say. I know the firepower that I have. I think Topuria needs to get into the division more calmly, more slowly, because there's a lot of tough guys who deserve respect. And Charles Oliveira, just like Topuria, used to fight at 145, came up to 155, became just a legendary fighter, still one of the most exciting fighters on the roster, most finishes, most bonuses, most submissions, you know it, right? We all love Charles Oliveira. But as I said, this might be the fight that happens because now Ilia Topuria is talking about him as well. And this, it's not a beef, this dislike for one another, and certainly in the public eye, it's just getting bigger and bigger. So there's now a bit of tension building between the two of them. And if I'm Justin Gaethje, I'm loving this because Topuria wants to fight for the belt and he's going back and forth talking about Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira's already been beaten by Arman Tsarukyan and by Islam Makhachev. So for Charles Oliveira, this might be the path back to fighting for the belt, to getting a rematch with Islam, because I'm not sure that Charles Oliveira right now is the guy that gets the title fight over a Justin Gaethje or an Ilia Topuria. Now for Topuria, in Spain, the man's got a street named after him. I mean, this is just unbelievable stuff. The country of Spain and Georgia that he represents, they absolutely love him. And it's amazing to see him getting this kind of recognition. And I think it was like at the grand unveiling of the street or something like that, Ilia Topuria was at a press conference and he was asked about Charles Oliveira. And he said, yeah, I'd love to go for a walk with Charles Oliveira. Actually, yes, to give him a bit of culture, to teach him something, because it's obvious that this kid hasn't read a single page of a newspaper. Another question, please, because this isn't a good time to talk about somebody like that. So there's Topuria being dismissive. There's Oliveira talking shit. Topuria needs to prove himself, apparently according to the champ. Oliveira needs that last final fight to get over the hump to challenge for the belt. And in the meantime, you've got Justin Gaethje, a fan favorite, a company man that's always putting on great fights. All Justin Gaethje's got to do is stay nice and quiet. Let these two keep chatting it up, talking a bit of shit, and Justin Gaethje might just emerge out of this as the winner, as the guy that gets to go up against Islam Makhachev. And then Topuria versus Oliveira, they might fight for a number one contender spot. Whoever wins that gets to fight the winner between Islam and Justin Gaethje. So, what do you think about that, right? I have no issue whatsoever with Topuria fighting Islam Makhachev for the belt. And I still think there is a good chance of that happening because right now, Topuria has the momentum behind him. He's got the knockout power. I mean, everything he said has come true. All these people talking shit, saying that the downfall is going to be glorious. Well, when we're yet to see it, he's backed it up every single step of the way. He's got beautiful technique, crisp boxing, amazing wrestling, high-level jiu-jitsu, an incredible athlete, and he's a fantastic ambassador for the sport. The man is an absolute class act. And if he was to lose to a Charles Oliveira, then the UFC potentially and the world might never get to see Topuria fight Islam Makhachev for the belt. And I think that would be a blockbuster fight. I think Topuria versus Islam Makhachev would be bigger than Gaethje, would be bigger than Oliveira. That would be the biggest fight of them all. But if he continues talking about Oliveira, and Oliveira plays this right and keeps talking shit and gets online and does tons of interviews, you never know. The UFC, they give the fans the fights that they want to see. And if enough interest builds in this organically, that just might be the fight that we get to see. And at the end of it all, the real winner of this might just be Justin Gaethje because he gets to fight for the belt. Anyway, what do you think about everything I said? What do you think about Ilia Topuria? La Leyenda. I like it. Listen, back yourself up. Be confident in yourself. You've got to be confident in this sport. Who do you think fights Islam Makhachev? Do you think Charles and Topuria going back and forth like this will result in these guys fighting each other? I don't know about any of that. There's just a few thoughts for you. Hope you're all well. Subscribe, ring the bell. See you soon.